The last time we spoke to Sally Ann Matthews on the podcast was 3 years ago when it was announced that Jenny was to become the new Rovers landlady. Since then, Jenny's lost a husband, gained a stepdaughter, and nearly ended up behind bars after knocking down Liz McDonald in her car. Sal, welcome back to the podcast.
Gosh, was it 3 years ago?
It was. I know, it's ages, wasn't it?
Really is ages.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem that long.
I know. Yeah, I think it was, 2018. I think. We'll say it is. Anyway,
Hey, don't ask me, mate. I haven't got a clue.
Back again. So have you been enjoying your time as landlady?
Well, it all started and it was great. I mean, you have really long days in the Rovers and often scenes which are full of people, so they take ages to do, and often scenes where you're you're not speaking in the scene, so you're just kind of there and moving around, and that can be really boring. But obviously, because of COVID, none of that is happening.
No.
So I don't have any NS scenes in the Rovers. We don't have lots of people. I think the maximum we have in there is 5.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. So my kind of experience is not full, really, in a way, which is a real shame. It's just such a shame that the Rovers isn't lively, even though I'll be kind of climbing the walls when it gets back to normal, if it gets back to normal. I mean, goodness only knows.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, it seems like that it's got a little busier in the past month or two, but it's not the same as pre-COVID, is it?
Well, the apps that are going out at the minute, the 4th of October, rules were relaxed at work a little bit, so that some people could work at 1 metre.
Yeah.
And they increased the number of background artists in scenes as well. So it might, from now on, really, because we shot Johnny's funeral on the 4th of October, and that was when it came in, this new kind of rule. So, but obviously it can't be for everybody to work at that distance, and it can't be for every set to have an increased number in it.
Yeah.
But you should start seeing now that people are closer together and scenes are looking busier. But, when you've got a show that, we did it incredibly well not to go off air. I think we were the only one that still had stuff in the bank, the only soap. So we've done incredibly well. And if there was an outbreak, well, we haven't got many reserves at the minute. I think we're normally about 8 to 10 weeks, and we're not that at the minute, anywhere near that. Are
you into 2022 yet? Are you still
we are, yes. I've done New Year's Eve. So yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
I think that was the last thing I did, actually. New Year's Eve.
Ah, okay. Look out for that. Hopefully something big at the Rovers, maybe. So, do you think that Jenny's? Do you think that Jenny's got what it takes to like be a good landlady? Do you think that under normal circumstances she is a good one?
I don't know. I to be honest, I don't really think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's too much pressure if you actually think about it and you think about the history of it all.
Yeah.
So I just work on, is she still the same person? Yes, she is. Fine, and she's in this situation and she's in that situation. Other than that, I can't think about a legacy, a heritage, all of that.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Did Julie Goodyear know right this soon that she was going to go down as legend? Did Doris Speed?
Exactly. I mean, we're all just jobbing actors, so we're only as good as our last episode. So, you might not get another one.
Yeah.
So no, you just do what's on the page, really, and do it the best you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that it seems that Jenny's going to be able to keep it going now that she hasn't got Johnny by her side, because earlier this year when it was all up in the air and Johnny wanted to sell up and everything, I was thinking, has Jenny lost the chance now? Is it going to be somebody else's
but
turn
in Victoria Gardens there's that magic money tree.
Yeah.
yeah. So everybody who just comes up, gets some financial hardship, goes along there and gives it a little shake, and magically
you got 20,
money
20
appears
grand
from somewhere.
out today, didn't you?
I've got 20 grand today. Quids in.
So let's talk a bit about Johnny's departure from the show then. Because ever since Johnny and Jenny disappeared off to France last year, it definitely seemed like Johnny had been much more of a minor character, and he's also Richard's spoken in his exit interview about the fact that he'd been planning to call it a day for quite a while. So how long had you known that he was going to leave, and what was your reaction to hearing the news? Yeah.
Ages, but then COVID hit. And of course, Jenny and Johnny they'd gone to France before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then Jenny was always supposed to come back, and he was to stay there because he made us kind of go to France because Scott had reappeared in his life. And so it was Jenny had just arrived back, and then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So Johnny was still in France, and they were frantically rewriting everything because that whole story strand had to change.
Did it?
So that whole story strand changed completely, as did many others.
Yeah, cool.
Obviously. So I think they just kind of went, right, okay, and it was a heck of a job for them. And I think they just kind of like, Johnny's still in France, let's just leave him there for a bit, he's fine there. We'll get round to that one. I think it was a lot of firefighting going on.
Yeah. Did you and he ever discuss ideas about how the character would be written out eventually?
No, I think originally it was a completely different idea for him being written out. That I think originally, again, pre-pandemic, I'd been told a completely different storyline was going to be happening.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. And then the sinkhole, I don't know, but I'm assuming that was what was going to be for the 60s, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of went, well, we know we want to do that, but we can't do it yet, so let's just elongate this bit and do a bit of that and blah, blah, blah. So I think it was just lots of jigsaw pieces going and hoping that they all fit together. I mean, they've had to constantly rewrite stories due to, not always just because of, somebody has to go off and isolate. Yeah. Then because we were kind of up close to the wire on transmission, those scenes couldn't be shot. So those scenes had to be rewritten, which meant that person was no longer involved in that story strand. So it's been constant for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, gosh, if you only knew stuff that goes on behind the scenes, you kind of go. So it just makes me laugh, but it also doesn't make me laugh because I get quite frustrated when I say, "Oh, that's stupid. Why are they doing that? Where's such a bad event?" And I go, "If you only bloody knew."
Well, I mean, we're just as guilty as that on the podcast, aren't we? Saying, "Oh, I don't like how they did that," but obviously,
yeah, surely they could have done this. You kind of go, "Don't you think?" Yeah.
So, how long had you known the exact nature of his departure then, with the sinkhole and everything? When was that story presented to you?
Oh, not. Well, I knew. When was it? Maybe May. Yeah. I want to say May or June. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Can't remember. Maybe around there. But it was Richard who told me, and he just said, "You fall down a sinkhole, I come and rescue you, but I die." And that was all I knew. And I didn't know anything else at all until 3 weeks before we started shooting it. Wow. When I got a phone call from the first who said, "Are you all right dropping through a trapdoor that's 15 foot high?" And I went, "Well, I'll have a go." And, "Are you all right in small space?" I don't know. I'll have a go. "Can you swim?" I don't know. I'll have a go. And that was pretty much how I went along with it, really.
It turned out so fun. What was it like filming those scenes?
It was amazing. Yeah. We had the best time. I think for Richard and I as well, to be able to be... Because we'd really only done prison scenes. We'd had a few little scenes in the back room, heart-to-heart things, and which I'd loved. Yeah, but we'd not had anything of us just being together. And so we did 6 days in water, and it was brilliant. It was fab. And I think I'm so pleased for Richard as well, to get an exit like that. It wasn't in the back of a cab.
No, it was fantastic. I loved it. That scene you were saying about the trapdoor, and you put videos of that up on Instagram or something, didn't you? That looked so much fun. Were you determined to do it?
It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun.
It wasn't.
I mean, it was. It turned out that it was all right, but I'm terrified of anything like that. repeating myself for the millionth time that I don't like anything action and I'm risk averse.
Yeah.
I really don't like anything like that. Like even getting tasered and having to fall onto a crash mat, I was terrified. I don't know what I'm doing with any of that. And so I was really scared, but I went third. Will went first, and he was very mean and moody and all the rest of it. And the room was silent. The studio was completely silent. And then Sal went, and she was completely silent. And I videoed her, which she won't let me put out online because it's really funny, I have to say. And I kind of come round and I go, "Are you all right?" And she says, "Well, I can tell you now, I'm not doing that again." Is what she said. But they'd said that the stunt director said, when you land in the boxes, everybody stay quiet. I will say, "Saliana, you all right?" You give us 2 thumbs up. And then Tack, the safety guy, will say, "Are you all right?" You give us 2 thumbs up. Well, I didn't, did I? I landed and went, "Yay!" and screamed me head off. I think more from relief. I think it's probably from relief that's what it was.
Yeah. Was there any option of you like getting just a body double, a stunt double to do that kind of stuff?
I had a body double. I had Jodie, who was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because obviously when Johnny and Jenny climb up the ladder, obviously that wasn't me and Ridge. And so when she slips off his back, George, the director, did it brilliantly. So you kind of see me and you see my hand, but I'm not suspended at all on anything.
Yeah.
That was just, me stood on the floor and pretending. And then Jodie did the drop. Yeah. And then when the run collapses and they both go into the water, Jodie did that. And some of the backward swimming shots were her because they wouldn't let me do it. And I was going, "No, let me do it all. I can swim all that length." So she was there as well in case I couldn't fall through the trapdoor.
I was going to ask about the swimming because that was one of my favourite scenes of the week, all that underwater stuff.
Well, they had her in case I couldn't do it. I mean, you've got no idea. You don't have any rehearsal. You just go there and shoot it. So I had no idea whether I could do it. And I did used to love, when I was on holiday, I would swim from one end of the pool to the other when I was a kid, holding my breath and getting from one end to the other. So clearly it was a bit of muscle memory. I could still remember how to do it. And I wasn't scared of it. And neither was Richard. I mean, I think that was brilliant, that shot when he puts his head back and then drifts off.
Yeah.
But a lot of actors, a lot of people have just got a fear of water, a fear of this, that, and the other, and wouldn't be able to do it. So thankfully, it was something that we both felt really comfortable doing.
That's good.
But it could have gone horribly wrong, and then nobody had asked us in advance. It was already written, so.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of the, the Richard Hillman goes into the canal scene, and you had, Helen and Jack and Tina and all that swimming about in the water, and Helen Worth couldn't swim then, could she? I think it's just she had to...
No, I don't think she could. So, I think a lot of the time, Doctor Theatre often takes over, but we loved it. We had a great time. We absolutely had the best time, and I really loved working with Julia as well, because I never get any scenes with Shona, and Julia and I are great friends, so it was really nice to have some close time with Julia as well.
And then of course you had that big scream after Johnny dies. That's a good set of lungs you got on there, Sal. Was it a case of just like scream and don't hold back?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we did that final scene all day, and we did all of Richard's shots first. So Julia and I were just sat on the platform giving him the lines for him to respond to, as if he was looking at me through the tunnel, but I couldn't be in there because the camera was obviously in there to look at him. And that was on the Friday, and then Richard left, because obviously he lives in Brighton, so he left at lunchtime. So the rest of the afternoon I was pretending Johnny was there. I mean, he doesn't speak, so it was fine. I mean, I think he just kind of says, whispers, "I love you," and that was it. Yeah. So it was kind of odd doing his goodbye scene, and he wasn't actually there. But no, it was great, and what an amazing team that we had with us. Tack is my hero. He's the safety guy, and he was just brilliant.
Did you enjoy watching it when it was broadcast?
No, not really. You always get because you remember little bits that haven't made it to the edit. So I judge it far too much, and I go, "Oh, why didn't they get that shot?" Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they put that in the edit? And I do a lot of that instead.
You are a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to these things, aren't you? You analyse
Yeah.
it, I know you do.
Yep. And I've done that tonight, let me tell you.
Yeah. How was that drunk acting tonight for you on a?
I bloody hate drunk acting.
They keep giving you it to do.
I don't know. They give me, and also they give me the most ridiculous. I mean, they're brilliantly ridiculous, but they are still ridiculous things to say, and positions to get into. So I have to get to a level of drunk, but then she has to be kind of compass mentis as well.
Yeah.
So I have to be so obscenely drunk that I can't stand up, but I have to be able to make a lot of sense as well. So it's a really difficult, and that's the way they've always written drunk, Jenny. I could never do a kind of a true, realistic. Well, I'm saying that I've seen lots of women who are drunk like drunk Jenny, so that's fine. But I could never do a kind of serious, kind of method acting, kind of award-winning drunk acting, because I have to do ludicrous things.
Yeah.
But I think kind of. So yeah, I hate doing it, but it's fine because it is what it is. She's ridiculously over the top, which she has to be.
Yeah, definitely. She's really going through the ringer now. Johnny's gone, isn't she?
Oh yeah, but she'll be fine.
She'll be all right, especially now she's got that 20 grand.
Yeah, she's fine. She lives on Coronation Street. She'll be fine in a week.
One of the things that I really appreciated that Corrie did actually in that last week of Johnny was having that reunion with you and him, because you know what I think about Jenny and Ronnie and everything.
I know. Well, but obviously, you can imagine all this year since I've known. I'm just like, oh my god, they're going to go mad.
But so you got your
Toya and him,
I know,
Johnny and Jenny.
Honestly, it's like they're doing it just to get at me. So you got your kiss with Jenny and Johnny at the end. I mean, do you think that was important to the story, that you had that moment of reuniting?
Oh, completely. I mean, Richard and I were messaging each other that night and the day after, and said, it was just such a beautiful end. Our love story came full circle, really, and it really did. No, I thought it was a beautifully written episode.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just kind of a really grown-up relationship that they had. That they really knew they loved each other, but just so much has happened, and there's been so much hurt that being together just makes them unhappy. Kind of really sad, because you just kind of go, oh.
I know.
They were fine really a few years ago.
It was amicable, wasn't it? And like you said, some of those scenes that you had earlier this year, like in the back of the Rovers, and you're talking about his bad taste in films and stuff, it was lovely.
Yeah, and there was a lovely scene when he tells her to go for it with, I don't know which one, whichever one. But it's Ronnie, she kind of says, "What did I do to deserve a husband like you?" I think she said that a few times. But it was really lovely, and I think that's what she thought their relationship was about.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a shame she couldn't hold out for a little while longer while he was in prison.
Well, you see, I completely back Jenny on this one.
Do you?
You have to, completely. She stood by him after everything that he'd done. Everything. So going from him, first off, the double wedding that she didn't want. Then they were emigrating to Spain, which she didn't want, but she went along with it. Then Winner, and he's buying a pub, and she went along with that. Then obviously Aidan. Then Liz McDonald, all the lies. And then what was after that? Something else was after that. Can't remember. Oh, and then Scott.
Yeah.
His MS that he didn't tell her about. His MS coming back, which he didn't tell her about. Then him saying that he wanted a divorce, and him being so cruel to her that night that Daisy arrived. And he just went around things the wrong way, like an idiot. And then he's in prison, and he starts to decline, and he stops taking his meds. And she's like, bloody hell, mate, I've put up with all of this, and I'm here waiting for you, and you can't help yourself. And I think I had a line where she said something like, you have to choose between the living and the dead. And it kind of pretty much was that. And he just wasn't choosing her time and time again. And so when this fella came along, gave her a lot of attention, I don't blame her. I really don't blame her.
Do you think that Ronnie could still schmooze his way back into Jenny's affections now, maybe become the next Rovers landlord? Or is he more into Debbie now?
No, I don't think so. I think he was very much at that time that she needed to see that she was desired by somebody else, and that kind of a bit of a stepping stone out of her marriage in a way.
Yeah.
And I think, he served his purpose that way. And now he's with Debbie.
Yeah, I have enjoyed, I have to say, all the scenes where you've been able to lock horns with Debbie, with Sue Devaney. That must be quite fun.
Yeah, it is, because obviously I've known Sue since I was about 10, 11 at Oldham Theatre Workshop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we did shows together. Yeah, I must have been about 11 when I did my first show with Sue. Oh. So I've known her for absolutely forever. Oh, yeah, we've gone to Oldham Mecca Bingo together. We've lived the life. And so, yeah, it's great to do that. But I don't think, unless they come back and revisit it, I don't think that's a thing that's going to continue, which is a real shame.
Yeah. That was great, though, those ones, because she's really fiery as well, isn't she? Like Jenny.
Yeah.
Isn't it great that in the last few years we've been able to enjoy these scenes with Jenny and Debbie and Sharon, all characters from the 80s have been given a new lease of life in the 2010s, and they all feel like completely. A natural fit as well.
Yeah, and they're all completely mad. I mean, they are kind of like a throwback to classic Corrie, if you like, where all the characters were more heightened. But I mean, we still have that. But also, for me, that's soap. That's the genre of soap. It should be bonkers. It should be heightened. If anybody's looking for Line of Duty style drama, then you've come to the wrong place, mate. That's not what a soap is about, and it should never be. It's a unique art form. It really is. Yeah. And you have to be able to do these ridiculous prolonged looks at the end of a scene, which are so cheesy, because that's soap.
Yeah, no.
And if it got more drama-esque, which people get all snobby about it, and they shouldn't. They should embrace what it is, because we work bloody hard. We don't get rehearsal. We have to act on our instincts, and we have to do everything out of order, and we often do 1 or 2 takes, and that's it.
I mean, I think the campiest, soapiest scene that you've had this year was the Avett scene with the taser, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you have any inkling at the time that was going to become so iconic among the fans?
No, I mean, I knew it was going to be. I think I said it. I think I tweeted at the time that I just had the campiest day at work ever, and it really, truly was. And also because Jenny had wound herself up like a spring that day, kind of held bed in this very childish sibling rivalry with Sharon. But then as it got more serious and she realised that this was Harvey, this drug dealer, was it, and it was like, oh, this is serious, heavy stuff. She'd wound herself up like a spring, and suddenly it all got real. And then, when she tasted me, but again, I remember Verity telling me, she told me before Christmas, I saw her, she'd come into the building, and she said, I've got to tell you. And I nearly fell over when she told me. And we were both just laughing hysterically. I mean, it was just the campiest thing. Yeah. How do you do socially distanced kind of attacks? Because we weren't bubbling at all then.
No.
At all. Bubbling wasn't a thing. And then it was when it was David Kester who directed it, and she shot me and I'm on the floor, and then David said, just give her another one, just zap her for a second time. And Tracy went, really? You went, yeah. He said, they probably won't let me keep it, but just do it a second time. And so they did. So I did a second kind of, and then I was inside watching the monitors when they did her close-up of her second zapper, where she went, have it. As soon as she said cut, I just came outside. I went, did you just say have it?
That was so funny.
Yeah, so she completely improvised that.
Did she? That's so funny.
Yeah.
I loved it. Okay, Daisy. We need to talk about Daisy. We haven't mentioned her today. So have you been enjoying having this new character to bounce off? She's
so brilliant. Just brilliant. And I know everybody goes, oh, what's the point of Daisy? Daisy's such a waste of space. Yeah, but that girl is a bloody good actress. She's so good. And I absolutely adore working with her. I love winding her up. she's bonkers like me. But we bounce off each other really well.
Yeah.
Like she'll do something and I go, oh, and I respond. And similarly, I do something and she will. We have a really good kind of acting shortcut with each other. And I just think she's a great character. There's nobody like her. Yeah, she's kind of completely self-absorbed. And that's great. And now, you see, I know you don't like people who aren't nice. And I've heard you when you said things about Jenny, you're like, oh, Jenny just did this. And I was just like really disappointed about Jenny. You kind of go, how boring would it be if everybody was nice all the time? You wouldn't have a bloody story. Oh, that's another beat for you.
We are getting to see a bit more of a nicer side with Daisy now, though, actually, aren't we? Especially with Daniel.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. She can be nice, she can be horrible. She's being good. That's all that matters.
Yeah. She's fun to watch.
Everybody is nice in life, Michael. It was like I've been watching Married at First Sight Australia, and that Bet girl is utterly vile. And my God, have I loved watching her.
My problem with Daisy, I think, at the beginning, she was just only trying to get in between Jenny and Johnny, and that all they seem to want to do with her. But there's definitely been more sides to her now over the past 6 months or so.
Yeah, I think that's again another problem with COVID is that you can't interact with you. We're working in cohorts, which is a shooting way of working, but also initially they put us in acting cohorts as well. So characters only interacted with a certain number of people. Yeah. So I was kind of one of the few that did a few more because I've been in the Rovers. Because most of I don't think the bistro was open initially and the corner shop wasn't. There weren't many kind of meeting places, but you only had like X would only work with Y and A, B, and C. If you see what I mean. So it meant that Daisy didn't interact with any other characters. She could only really be with me and Johnny and whoever was in the pub. Emma, Gemma, and Sharon, really, and Ryan, and that was it.
Yeah, she
wasn't allowed to work out. So I think for any of the new characters that have come in, it's been very difficult for them in that first year. Charlie's been in the show just over a year now.
Yeah.
I think when characters that have come in this year, things have relaxed a little bit more, and it's been a bit easier for them to tell a fuller story. So she had to have those kind of scenes where it did look like she was just hell-bent on getting Jenny to herself and getting rid of Johnny, and we didn't know why, and we didn't have the time to explain why, because you didn't see her talking to anybody else.
So it's been good. We've seen more of her now. Do you think that Jenny's got the measure of her? Because sometimes it looks like Jenny's said,
she's completely got the measure of her, but she loves her.
Yeah.
You could have thank God my children are perfect. But, some people do have blooming horrible kids, but they still love them.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, before we go, we must chat about these 55Ks that you've been doing this past year. So, Gemma and I have already spoken about it lots of times on the podcast, but for anyone who hasn't heard about it, tell us what's going on with that.
Well, being the least sportiest person ever, I only ever kind of did dancing, really, as a kid. Never did anything sporty. And it was Coulson, really, with his running, and my friend who done the Couch to 5K. And I kind of went, well, I could do it then, surely, could I? I don't know. I'll have a go. So I did Couch to 5K during lockdown, and I absolutely loved it. Yeah. And I just knew that I would stop as soon as I'd done it. If I didn't have, I'm not very good at motivating myself. I'm really good at sitting on the sofa and playing gummy drop. I'm brilliant at that. But I'm not very good at getting off and doing anything. So I set myself this challenge to run 55Ks in my 50th year for 5 charities, raising $5,000. That was my plan. And then it's taken longer because I had to take 3 months off, unfortunately, due to injury. But actually, I'm now going to run them all, I think, in 11 months instead of 12.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you're nearly at the end, aren't you? 48?
That wasn't the plan. I did 48 on Monday, and that wasn't the plan. It's just that Virgin Money Giving, who is the fundraising platform, they're ceasing trading on the 30th of November, so I've had to cram them all in. And actually, I thought, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to be able to do... I think I did I think I did 6 in about 11 days, something like that, which was a bit mad. So I've got a bit of a breather this week. So yeah, we went off to Paris for a couple of days because my youngest is there studying and it was his 21st, and I did a run from Place Vendôme and through the gardens and along the Seine. On Monday morning, that was run 48, and then run 49 will be on Saturday, and then run 50 will be next week.
Have you got anything special planned for your 50th run?
Yes, I
have. Is it a secret?
It's a secret, yes. It's a secret because it's a secret.
We'll look out for that next week.
It just is. It's one of those things. I don't want to kind of. I don't want to kind of get attention from it, which is bizarre because I need attention because I'd like everybody to sponsor me, please.
Yes, looking at your page, you're really close to your target now,
aren't
you?
I'm really close to my target, and I really want to get to 5,000.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that I will. So yeah, it's a kind of a double-edged thing, but I'm not going to be running it on my own, put it that way.
Okay, how exciting. Do you reckon you're going to keep up the running after you've done your 50th, or is it back to the sofa then?
Well, you and I also have a mutual friend, old Dirk,
yes.
Mr. Adam James Blease, to give him his full title. And he used to run, and he's stopped, and he hasn't done it for a couple of years now. And I've been badgering him and saying, when you start running again, come running with me, da-da-da-da-da. And then he happened to put on Instagram the other week that why don't we do a 10K and I'll do it with you.
10K, wow.
So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do next, a 10K. Because I run now in Manchester with Aaron, who is a fireman, and he ran 22 10K races for the victims of the arena bombings because he was on duty that night when the bombings happened. And so I run with him, and because he started a running club after doing his 22 10Ks, which is brilliant. And he reckons I could do it. So that's the plan, to train for a 10K next.
Cool. Well, very best of luck with it all.
Yeah.
Can you just remind our listeners again where they can go if they'd like to donate?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question.
So just find your Twitter page.
You could go to my Twitter page. It's my pinned tweet, or on my Instagram. The link is in my bio, or it's at Virgin Money Giving. And I guess if you just search for Sally Ann Matthews, you should see Sal's 55Ks for 50th, and through there. And I'm raising money for the RNLI, Acting for Others, Action Against Cancer, the Matt Hampson Foundation, and Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund. Brilliant. So hopefully they will all get £1,000 each.
Yeah, and you've got to get in there by the 30th of November, haven't you? Is it all cut off then?
Midnight on the 30th of November, they go, no more money, keep your money.
Right,
don't send us any money.
Get there and
so, but I'm hoping that by midweek next week I will have completed run 50. So there should be a week left for everybody to kind of retweet and badger everybody to give me a quid.
I'm sure you'll make it. I'm sure you will.
Hopefully.
Oh, well, Sally, it is lovely speaking to you as always this evening. Thank you very much.
I kind of forgot I'm on a podcast. We've just been having a chin wag.
We have. We've just been having a... Yeah, there's other people going to hear this. Don't worry, you've not said anything unbroadcastable.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's happening next with Jenny as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Stuff's happening with her.
Have you got a bit of an idea about what's happening in the future? Has she got some big stuff coming up? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, no, there is definitely big stuff coming up, and when you see it, you'll know why I've said it like that.
Oh, okay then. Okay. Right, I will let you go.
All right, lovely.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the evening, and good luck with your run.
Okay, bye.
See ya.